long and just holding hands. You have that way of sending me home, singing a song. I guess I'm wondering when I'll be left alone, 'cause you don't seem to want to hear my soul. Looking across the plain, wondering where you are, and you wanna be so high. You are only seeing the stars and telling yourself a lie. I keep my company by listening to the beat, the one that goes on inside your head. And if I play it right, you might think that I'm cool, but I don't know, 'cause I feel just like a fool. Looking across the plain, wondering where you are, and you wanna be so high. You are only seeing the stars and telling yourself a lie. Don't you tell me, Sister Sue, that you want me to be with you. Well, I know better, you're only shy, and you won't even tell me why. Now if you've listened to all that I've said, then maybe we can try it again. But if you turn away your pretty little head, then I guess this hero tone's surely gone dead. Looking across the plain, wondering where you are, and you wanna be so high. You are only seeing the stars and telling yourself a lie. Don't you tell me, Sister Sue, that you want me to be with you. Well, I know better, you're only shy, and you won't even tell me why. Well, hello, and welcome to Jay's Journey. It's been quite a couple of weeks, and this is Jay's Journey, but it's your journey too if you want to come along. That song, it was an original song written in 1977 in an open tuning on a guitar. The song, believe it or not, the working title for that song was 922 You're High. I don't know why that was the working title. I can't remember 40 something years ago why we entitled it that. I was songwriting with I was only 17 years old. I was songwriting with a friend of mine. We had a trio. We used to play acoustic guitars and sing three-part harmonies. The name of that band, as I remember, I think, or it wasn't really a band, it was like a trio. I think we went by Winter Sunshine, but I could be wrong, but I think that's what we called it. And the way it would work is I would start playing and coming up with some lines and singing and noodling on the guitar, and one of the other guys who also wrote lyrics and stuff would just write down things that I said, and then we'd kind of try to compile it or whatever. And I think we just couldn't come up with a title for it or something, and looked at the clock and it was 9:22 and said 922 and you must be high or something like that. So that was, I have it in an old notebook, and that's how I found it. And I remembered because I had a request for a segment on alternate tunings, or open tunings, as some people call them. That particular song was done in G open tuning, which is, you know, the guitar is already set to a G chord, basically. But before I get into that real heavy, it's been a very eventful couple of weeks. Watch this. Hello everybody, Jay here. It's September 8th here in the Denver metro area of Colorado, and I don't know if you can see this. Here, let me see if I can take you around here. Might get the camera wet. I don't know if you can see, that is snow coming down. Yes, it is snowing, and I had to cover our tomato plants. We've got a couple of tomato plants in the front yard. You know, we can see the snow coming down. That is snow, ladies and gentlemen. Snow on September 8th. It's pretty cold. It's going to get down to about 30 degrees tonight, maybe a little in the high 20s maybe tonight. So September 8th, it's usually nice here until mid to late October. I've seen 80 degrees in late October here. I had to go around and turn off the water to the hoses so it wouldn't freeze. Turn the heat on for the first time this year. Turn the air conditioner off. We had 101 degrees here the day before yesterday. 101. And tonight it's going to be less than 30 degrees. Pretty extreme weather change. Exhilarating. Exhilarating. Morning, Jay here. It's September 9th. Having my morning coffee. Cheers. Just spent some time here in my office. My office is kind of a mess right now. But I got a batch of bills paid, caught up on some paperwork, and that feels good. I had a little short video of it starting to snow yesterday. Well, it snowed overnight, and it's cold right now. It's probably about 28, 29 degrees outside. I'm about to take the garbage out, and I'll show you the snow on the trees. All right, guys. Here I am in Castle Rock, Colorado, doing an exterior estimate. It's September 9th. It's around 10 o'clock in the morning, a little after 10. And you can see the leaves haven't even started changing. Those are aspen leaves, and those usually change first here in Colorado. They turn a golden yellow, and they're covered in snow. Like I said, September 9th, covered in snow. I'm doing an estimate on this house behind me. And there's the mailman just pulled up. Anyway, just wanted to show you the snow. Look at that. Let me show you the Castle Rock in Castle Rock, Colorado. So right behind me here is why they call this Castle Rock. Can you see that? Behind me, there is a rock that looks like a castle. And henceforth called Castle Rock. Shy's license. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Yeah, you can turn right on red as long as there's nothing coming.
To the right, like right lane? Or
yeah, the right lane. And then you can cross over to the left lane after you get in the right lane first. Happy birthday to you. Happy 18th birthday, dear Cheyenne. Happy birthday to you. Somebody call 911.
What's the number?
What's the number?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cheyenne. Happy birthday to you.
It's all downhill from here, buddy.
Good job.
Come on, you're not blowing
Come
hard
on,
enough.
Shy.
You're not gonna get your wish.
Yeah, right.
Okay, that's it. She's spitting on the cake now.
Have to read the directions. Okay?
I don't understand
Come
what's
on.
happening.
I'm the one saying read it.
Leif is a direction reader.
I know. I know.
Okay, okay.
Oops.
Wait, tell Dad.
Premature.
Ready?
All right, go ahead.
Yet or no?
We're filming.
Do you know how to work
We're filming.
What are you doing?
She's got a big one.
1, 2, 3.
Woo! Wow.
There you go. Blue smoke everywhere. Oh, that's cool.
Happy birthday. So that was a lot going on there. A lot going on. There was the snowstorm, my youngest daughter turning 18, getting her license. I mean, in Colorado, our weather is it's never the same year after year. But that was a pretty early snowstorm. I'm glad that all the plants survived and we didn't have great big breaking branches from the weight of the snow coming down and taking out power lines that happened to me earlier this summer. And I got a new roof within that. A new roof and new gutters because of the previous storm that took things out. So, G open tuning. So the way this is tuned is you have a D, G, D, G, B. So there's your G major triad is your D, G, B, and then a D on top. So you've got 3 Ds, Gs, you've got 2 Gs and a B. And it lends itself to some very nicely, easily shaped chords once you learn the chords. I mean, obviously you could do a bar chord. There's G, there would be your 4 chord, and then your 5 chord. C, D, G. And when you play that chord there, which is like an A minor 7 on a regular guitar, I don't know if you can see that in here maybe. I got a band-aid, I cut myself. Oh, and I took up whittling. I took up whittling over the 2 weeks. I got something here. Oh, this is my whittling kit because my grandson had a birthday too, and for his birthday, when we went camping, he was carving stuff with his knife. I gave him a knife and all. He was just cutting wood. So I got him some whittling tools, cutting tools, wood carving tools, and I started carving a little teddy bear. That's little teddy bear. It's not there yet. Or a woodland creature bear I found on YouTube, and I'm learning it. So I took that up. So my fingers are all cut up because I wasn't wearing a protective glove like you're supposed to do when you do that. Anyway, so back to the G tuning. G. Now that's when you play these shapes, the A minor 7 shape I'll show you. It's a kind of a sus. It's really kind of like it could be your C chord, your 4 chord, with the G in the bass, and then you move that up, and it could be kind of that could be a B minor, or it could be your D with that G in the bass. So you can. Now, many songwriters use alternate tunings and open tunings. Joni Mitchell's a big one, and even jazz players like Pat Metheny has used a lot of alternate tunings. The heavy metal, the grunge players are always dropping this, the E string down to low C's or whatever. The lower the better, for the low sound. 3 guitars here. I'm going to show you a couple other alternate tunings, and then if you want to check out an alternate tuning called Dadgad, D-A-D-G-A-D, I did a previous video on Dadgad tuning, and just go into my video feed there, and maybe I'll put that at the end of this video. I'll put the Dadgad video that I did many months ago. On this particular guitar too, I had it tuned to D-A-D-G-A-D, and that's a Celtic tuning. A lot of Celtic players use it. A lot of players use it. But very famously, Joni Mitchell, a lot of her songs are written in alternate tunings which are, I love Joni Mitchell. God, she's awesome. I mean, as a songwriter. The Doobie Brothers, I won't play the song, but I can tell you the song Black Water is done in a double drop D tuning, where they tune the E string to a D and the high E string to a D. And then they play particular chords there. So alternate tunings have been around since the inception of the guitar. Actually, the concert tuning of the guitar didn't come about until probably within the first, I want to say, into the first half of guitar evolution. The original guitars weren't always just 6 strings. Some of them had more, some of them had less. There's guitar evolution. You can research that on YouTube and figure that out. But I'm not a master of the history of the guitar, but I do know a little bit about it. And the tunings have changed over time. And then we came up with that standard concert tuning for the guitar, E, A, D, G, B, E, going up for the guitar players. Anyways, this one is called G because it's open to a G chord, and the patterns you can use are, so you can play very similar patterns that are in the key of G. And then what I do in that song, the song I just played for you that I wrote, was so there, instead of going to the major third of the D, I go to which I believe is an F chord. It's like an F. So it's going F, C, G. It's an F with a G in it, so it's kind of a sus sounding, sus 9, sus 6, or sus 4, whatever. So they have these great textures in the chords when you open tune the guitar. And I always try to encourage guitarists to just noodle around with chord shapes and move them to different areas and play them open and just listen to what they sound like. You can get all kinds of, that's a beautiful chord. I mean, those are the beautiful textures and sounds that you can't normally get on a guitar with close together notes or far apart intervals. I just love it. And so that's the G. Now I'm going to pick up another guitar and I'm going to show you the D open tuning, which a lot of blues players use for slide guitar. I mean, you can use slide on this one too as well, if you're playing in the key of G. A lot of bluegrass players, will do both, I think, use it. This one I have tuned to D. That's a D major chord. And the cool thing about the patterns between the G tuning and the D tuning, it's just like taking all the notes in the string that are here and the intervals that are here and moving them down a fifth or a fourth, moving them down a fourth because you're going to the fifth, which is D. So you're kind of moving everything down a fourth to the key, to the D major chord. So the tuning goes like this: D, A, D, F sharp, A, D. Better. Sorry, it's a little flat. So, and the The same, you remember the A minor 7 pattern that I showed you was this. So you have your one finger here on the first fret, second string, and then fourth string, second fret. On the G tuning gives you that C chord, or that C with a G. Well, here you move that down one set of strings. So on the third string, first fret, and the fifth string, second fret. And now, when you're in the key of D, you're going to go D, G, A. There's a G, and then of course A, D, just bars. So the fifth fret was your 4 chord, the seventh fret is your 5 chord. See, we got that. Same patterns, you just moved them, instead of playing them here, they don't sound good here. Just move them down. It's kind of a hack, a little trick that you know. So if you can play, if you learn in one tuning, you can move to another tuning and play the same things, you just move everything down. Blues players will use this, a lot of slide players will use this tuning. Counting Crows does a song in this tuning. It's She Talks to Angels. This is the tuning they use for that song. I believe they capo it on the second fret. Just so you know, and you know, they do use that. They use or so that's the D, and like I said, that was D, A, D, F sharp. You tune your G down to an F sharp, your B down to an A, and your high E down to a D. So those are two open tunings, the Dad-Gad, and the only other one is the double drop D1, which I have another guitar, but I haven't tuned it to that yet. It's in standard tuning right now. I don't know if that's informational for you guys. It helps you. Just play around with tunings. There's no rules about tuning the guitars. There's people now messing around with microtones. I mean, notes that aren't on the piano, if you know what I mean, that are in the cracks of the keys on the piano. There's people messing around with different alternate tunings with fretless guitars so that they can play microtones on the guitars. And there's keyboards. There's whole keyboards now that have microtones that people are playing electronic keyboards. So music's constantly evolving as our cultures blend throughout the world, and we have influences from different cultures into our music. It's going to continue to evolve. Thankfully, that doesn't stay stagnant, because we'd get pretty bored if everything was... I get bored with listening to the top 40 sometimes over the periods of time, because every song starts to sound the same after a while. Yeah, so practice with the tunings. One is the G open tuning, open tune to a G chord, and the second one, try open tuning to the D chord. And I'm sure there's plenty of other tutorials out there that are far more advanced and in-depth than mine. I was just playing an original song. I've got some other original songs that I've put together over the years. That song that I just played, I kind of want to go down and hit the studio with it and do some multi-tracking. I used an intelligent vocal harmonizer on the chorus, So if it sounds a little hokey, it's because it's not a very expensive vocal harmonizer at that. So thank you for joining Jay's journey this week, and stay tuned and go back and look for that Dadgad video. And if you haven't watched all my other videos, kind of peruse through them and see ones that you might like to explore. Comment. I always read your comments. It doesn't matter how many I get. I try to go through them all. I try to reply to as many as I can. Appreciate, you know, those comments because it helps me to improve. I want to create content that's relevant to somebody. This is my journey, but I think hopefully it resounds, or people can relate to some of the things that I go through in their own lives. I'm hoping that all of this helps you and you find it enjoyable, and if not entertaining. Come back next week. Hopefully I'll have some more content for you that's relevant. Maybe a new song. I'm trying to record a new song. Maybe I'll get that done. Maybe I'll finish whittling my bear. It looks pretty sick right now. You know, when you're learning something new, you really stink at it, I'm sure. But I'm not afraid to stink at something in order to learn it. That's all I can tell you. Don't be afraid to suck, because that's how you learn. That's how you get better at stuff. But there's my little carved bear. You can see the form of the ears, and I'm getting ready to do his arms. There's a guy online, Doug Linker, I think is his name, Linker, I believe, and he whittles these little woodland creatures, and it's fascinating, and he shows you how you can do it. It's kind of like the Bob Ross of whittling, I guess. So I'm trying to learn how to do that. Thank you again. Catch you next time.